2 seed Vanderbilt women's basketball lost to 6 seed Notre Dame 67-64. And I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Vanderbilt had one of the best seasons in program history, came to a halt. The 29-5 overall. They were looking to go back to the Elite Eight for the first time since 2002. They couldn't get there, but even if they got there, I would have thought they would lose that game next game anyway. And I'm sorry, I'm just being realistic. And I know they were trying to go back to the Final Four for the first time since 1993. I just didn't see it happening. Now Notre Dame, obviously, they're back. They are back in the Elite Eight for the first time since 2019, and this is the first Elite Eight for Neil Ivey as head coach. Remember, the past 4 years have been Sweet 16. That's it. And year one, obviously, was 10-10 overall. I thought if she would have finished in the round of 64, heaven forbid, or round of 32, she might have been on the hot seat going to next year. I think she definitely cooled off that hot seat a bit here today. Sweet 16, I wasn't sure it would have been hot seat for next year or not. But definitely Elite Eight, I think she deserves no hot seat now. And I know it's hard to follow up a legend in Muffin McGraw. I know it is. So I think she deserves to stay at Notre Dame at least for a few more years before even thinking about that discussion again. And you guys gotta be realistic. The next game is gonna be tough. It's gonna be most likely 1 seed UConn. I'm sorry, the 4 seed North Carolina. I just don't see you beating UConn. And honestly, either way, they're familiar with them with both programs. If it was obviously 4 seed North Carolina, I think they would have an easier shot to win than 1 seed UConn. I'm sorry. And you got to think about, too, this day and age of college athletics with the NIL and transfer portal. I don't think it's realistic for Notre Dame to think about Final Four unless they're like up there and like a 2 seed, and even then it depends about matchups. And obviously, if they're like a 1 seed, there's a possibility you could be that. Especially when you know, given a few programs already are going to be there in the Final Four anyway, no matter what. Like a UConn, a Texas, and a South Carolina. The battle for the 4th one is going to be really, really hard. So you get the whole point. It was a crazy finish to say the least. And Vanderbilt did fight back in this game. They were down by double. They were down by 12. Yeah. And they never gave up, though. I got to give them credit. But at the very end of the day, Notre Dame made a few more plays to win than Vanderbilt. And I actually had this upset occur in a few of my brackets. It's because of Hannah Hidalgo. That's why. And I did say going into this game, Vanderbilt is not like some invincible 2 seed. They lost to Ole Miss by double digits. They lost to Georgia right after they beat Texas. And I know they did lose to South Carolina. I know. And they even lost to Ole Miss on January 30th too. Remember that. And that was like a quote neutral site game because it was like rescheduled. Yeah, rescheduled because of the weather issues at the time. So you guys get the point. They were not some invincible 2 seed. Now, at halftime, Notre Dame was up 31-26. Vanderbilt did fight back and they scored 38 points. Notre Dame scored 36. But there's obviously more to the game than that. That's why I'm going to go over the last minute of the game. This is besides the stats, of course. And it was just a crazy finish to the game, to say the least. Okay, around 56 seconds left. Hannah Hidalgo picked up her 4th foul. And Aubrey Galvin went to the line for Vanderbilt, made both free throws to make it 64 apiece. Hannah Hidalgo missed a layup around 30 seconds left, which was blocked by Michaela Blakes, but Hannah Hidalgo got the offensive board and missed a layup again around 28 seconds left. But Malaya Coles got the offensive rebound for Notre Dame, and Notre Dame did call timeout. And around 22 seconds left, Cassandra Prosper made a layup that was wide open, which was assisted by Hannah Hidalgo. Though I will say this: if the pass would have hit the leg of the Vanderbilt player, that could have been a steal right there. It would have been it would have been a loose ball for sure. So it was 66-64, and Vanderbilt they called timeout right away. And Michaela Blakes turned the ball over on a drive to the basket. And Notre Dame did call timeout. And obviously, Vanderbilt had fouls to give. I mean, they only had 2 team fouls at the time, and the next 3 are like around 16 and 15 seconds left, foul by Jada Brown both times, and then obviously she fouled again around 14 seconds left. But Cassandra Prosper missed the first free throw. That left the door open. And then she made the second one to make 67-64. So Vanderbilt needed a 3 to tie the game, or get a quick 2 and a foul, or get a quick 2 and do a foul game, because they had enough time to do that. So right after the timeout, Aubrey Galvin missed a 3, but she chased her down in her own rebound. Around 3 seconds later, Michaela Blakes attempted the 3, but missed it, which was like the defensive board was by Hannah Hidalgo, and that was ball game right there. I will say though, Michaela Blakes might have had enough time to pass the ball to her teammate that was wide open. Maybe they should have done that. I don't know. And she could have done that in hindsight. I don't know if there was enough time. There might have been enough time to do another catch and shoot at that point, but either way, not ideal for Vanderbilt to finish that game. Now, Vanderbilt shot not that great in this game. 35% on 54 attempts, 28% on threes on 18 attempts. If you think that was bad, look at Notre Dame's numbers. 84% on free throws on 25 attempts. 44 rebounds, 12 of those offensive. And 13 fouls, and only 6 points off the bench. I mean, Jada Brown had 4, and Ayanna Mitchell with 2 points, and though she had 10 rebounds. And 2 double-digit scores literally combined for 50 points. I mean, Aubrey Galvin did everything to keep Vanderbilt in the game with 24 points on 7 for 16 shooting, 3 for 7 on threes, 7 for 9 on free throws. But Michaela Blake, sure, she had 26, but was very inefficient from the field. 7 for 26. Though she shot better in the second half, and 0 for 5 on threes, 12 for 13 on free throws. And nobody for Vanderbilt scored 6 more points this game, to be honest. I mean, Sasha Washington only had 3, and she's like a double-digit scorer. And Justine Passat only had 2 points, and she's like a double-digit scorer. Notre Dame only had 6 bench points, which was by KK Brainsford. And 2 double-digit scores that combined for Cassandra Prosper had 15 points. But the game ball definitely goes to Hannah Hidalgo. She had a triple-double. 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 steals. And she even had 7 assists, so near quadruple-double. Holy cow. I will say, though, Notre Dame did not make that many shots outside the paint in this game. You can't have that performance again especially if you face 1 seed UConn. They will destroy you if you do that again. And Notre Dame shot the ball better from the field, 42% on 66 attempts. However, 6% on threes on 17 attempts. That's only like 1 make. You got away with it in this game, but if you don't shoot the ball better from 3, you're not going to beat UConn, let alone North Carolina, if you shoot that way. 77% on free throws, but that's on 13 attempts, and that's only 3 misses. 30 rebounds, 7 of those offensive, 13 assists, 13 turnovers, 16 steals, 5 blocks, 18 fouls. Though I will say Vanessa De Jesus did foul out, and Cassandra Prosper had four fouls as well. So a few players with foul trouble, but at the very end they survived and advanced. And now I'm going to go to points out turnovers, points in the paint, fast break points as well. Now points out turnovers definitely favor Notre Dame in this game, and that's one of the biggest reasons why they won. 23-4. Fast break points favor Notre Dame. 27-9. And points in the paint favor Notre Dame. 54-20. Those numbers clearly explain the reason why Vanderbilt lost this game. And now, obviously, Vanderbilt is going to lose a few seniors that really built that program from the ground up. And what a job by Shea Ralph this year. They were not expected to be that good going into the season. They were picked lower in the SEC. They finished tied for second with Texas at 13-3. So, yeah, very impressive year. It's just tough way to finish. Yeah, obviously Justine Pissot, that's a loss right there. She was there only for 3 years after transferring from Tennessee, but you can always get the point. And also there's Sasha Washington that helped him as well from the bottom up, and there's Jenga, but that's like a 1-year transfer for Vanderbilt from Texas, and there's Jada Brown as well, but yeah, she's been there all 4 years as well. And I know Vanderbilt does have 2 freshmen coming in, but here's the question for Vanderbilt. Are they going to be able to retain Shea Ralph as head coach once the UConn job gets open when Gino Auriemma retires? That's the big question, because she does have something building right here. And maybe one day they could be Elite Eight good again for the first time since 2002. This just was not the year. Maybe next year will be. It depends about matchups. And you got to find a way to retain Aubrey Galvin, obviously. You got to find a way. And the same thing for Michaela Blakes. That's just telling the truth. So we're going to wait and see what happens in the offseason for Vanderbilt. And I'm not saying the UConn job is specific on her being a candidate, but look, she's an alum. She was a long-time assistant at UConn prior to taking the Vanderbilt head coaching job. So that it is legit. It's possible that she is a candidate. But does she want to be the one to follow Gino? That remains to be seen. And we have to wait and see what Notre Dame does in their next game. But if it's against 1 seed UConn, I'm sorry. I'm giving them slim to none chance. Yeah, I actually thought they had a chance to win this game because, like I said, Vanderbilt's not like some invincible 2 seed by any means, because look at their losses. Other than South Carolina, the other 3 losses, there were teams that they shouldn't have lost to. Ole Miss twice, and then obviously Georgia right after that beat Texas. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and see you guys later on the road. 800 subscribers, course, ultimate goals, 1,000 more. Some of my monitors, of course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube background. Some more people see us, and the video does help as well. Some more people could watch, and if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell as well.